All right. Let's also say this up front. Usually when we do the live streams, Max, we talk about every single game. We're not going to do that tonight. So we're kind of switching our schedule a little bit. So we're going to talk about the first two games and obviously the big game, Tennessee, South Carolina. We'll mention a little bit about LSU, Arkansas. We will have a separate video tomorrow morning. So if Kentucky fans, you start checking in here in the next half hour, Texas A&M, Mississippi State fans, we're not talking about those games in this video. I know it's going to be a little confusing, but this is kind of the best we can do, for this particular way we're going to do it. So, all right, shout out quickly to Flying Blind before we get into Tennessee, South Carolina. Flying Blind has been here from the beginning when Southeastern 14 had about 100 subscribers 3 years ago. We're at 15,000 now. Thank you guys. And Arkansas fan won the last home game he'll attend as a student there. Shout out to our guy, Flying Blind. Fantastic stuff. Fantastic stuff. So, all right. Caleb. Caleb. Already having fun here. Max, the Vols are your daddy. Oh,
what,
boy.
It took less than 3 minutes.
Listen, I mean, hey, we all know who our father is. We're not going to disrespect him, even though he lost this game. But, all right, Max, as always, when we do these, first thing I'm going to ask you, what stood out? One player had Dalton Knecht, one didn't? Is it kind of as simple as that sometimes?
Well, the first thing that I was thinking 5 minutes into the game was, oh, man, this is not Florida Alabama's pace.
No, it's not.
It's like, oh, gosh, we may not get into the 60s. But, no, it was Dalton Knecht. You want to know the image that's in my mind right now is Dalton Knecht making back-to-back threes in that first half that kind of blew the game open. And it wasn't even like it was offensive rebound kick out threes or heat check chuck. It was like just flying off of a cut, catch and shoot, smooth swish 3 times in a row. That blew the game open, and from that lead on, it was Tennessee in control. This was the kind of the game we expected. We said this slow kind of pace is what usually in SEC play has been tripping up Tennessee here and there, A&M, Mississippi State. But there's just something about how Tennessee is playing right now that they're just on another level where with Knecht now, this is probably a game that they would have lost without him last year. But that's the difference in this team. You see the offensive efficiency numbers jump from last year to this year. This is the game right here that Knecht was added to win. This type of game right here, this slow, grinded out, must-win, possession-by-possession game, this is what they got him for.
No, I mean, it's when anybody asks this year, the fact is it's always the same thing. It's how is this Tennessee team different? Everybody always leads with, well, they're still coached by Rick Barnes, right? And look at the lack of success they've had in the NCAA tournament. Everybody leads with that.
Yep.
But if you're asking, and we can't see the future. I know sometimes it seems like we can, Max, but we can't. Trust me, we're not the aliens. We can't see the future here. So it's like, I think you have to look at it with what you see in front of you. We always say that. What we see in front of us is a different Tennessee team because of Dalton Knecht. It's a different dynamic than we've seen in previous seasons. Do they still have lulls where they struggle to score? Sure. But you have a guy like that now who can get you out of it. And so they've had guys before that have been able to get them out of it, but not like this. Like, not to this level, I think.
Right.
And I think that's kind of what it comes down to. So, yeah, I mean, I almost tweeted out, I'm like, I really, like, the game can be simple sometimes. Like, what do we say every year where people are like, okay, if you're going to pick the team that's going to make it the furthest, they got to have a dude, right? Like, it's always the thing people say is like, they got to have a guy. It's okay. So Tennessee has a guy now. Like, they have a guy, and they have all the other pieces, you would think. Sure, there's still going to be some questions about, offensively, do they look rough sometimes when he's not on the court, or if he has the ball 30 feet out and everybody's just standing around watching him? Yeah, but it's not the worst problem in the world because you still got him, right? So I don't know, man. I think this was the kind of game, you said it best, kind of game they brought Dalton Knecht in for, to win a game like this on the road, everything on the line. And when you have a dude, that can take you a long way. And so, yeah.
Well, also, Aidoo. We were really, Blake, really you were probably maybe 3, 4, 5 games into the conference season. You were all over the put Aidoo in those player of the year conversations. Put him in there. And then that just started to kind of become consistent. This is what Aidoo, he's just going to put up like 15 and 10 and just put up 15 and 10. And he's, that's just kind of what we've come to expect. Here we go, 14 and 9 on the road against a really physical South Carolina team. That doesn't get talked about enough either, is Aidoo's emergence this year. I mean, he was already a piece, but being able to rely on him offensively game in, game out. And Awaka didn't have a great night statistically, but he was wearing down and really nice on defense. I specifically remember, maybe because I had a wager on BJ Mack to score a certain amount of points, but I specifically remember a possession where BJ Mack, a guy who normally is able to use his physicality and back down defenders in the low post, Awaka just held his ground like a rock and just, I think, ended up blocking him also. So the Tennessee front line has adapted also from earlier in the year. You look back to those Purdue, UNC early losses, this front line is much different than it was earlier also.
Yeah. And that's what people are talking about in the comments. Well, there's multiple conversations going on, and we will talk about the foul or no foul here in a second.
Oh, yeah.
Look, it's one of those where I think Taylor made here a regular. And by the way, guys, if you want to make sure we see your chat, as always, you're going to have to do probably super chat because we got 400 plus people in here, and we're not going to be able to get to all of them. So leave the super chat if you want us to make sure we get to it. We appreciate all you guys jumping in. A lot of familiar faces in these live streams. But Taylor made another one of those. James and Vescovy, they do so much. And I think that's the thing, right? It's like they've not had to be talked about as much as they've had to be talked about last year. And it's, again, too, like when you have a Dalton Knecht, it's just the way it works, right? Like he's going to get all the discussion. And I think that's the way it works when you have a player of the year candidate, not just in the SEC, but like a national player of the year type guy. And so, of course, we're talking about Chris Lee, the National Player of the Year.
National Player of the Year, yep.
Chris actually just coming straight in from Columbia. He was there to talk to Father Lamont Paris, I think. But I think Sam had you in Lexington, Chris, with his boy here. I think Sam had you spotted on the compass in Lexington.
Would you like a true story? I finished watching the game at my kids' baseball practice with friend of the show, Big Orange Tux guy.
Big Orange Tux guy. Interesting.
Yep.
We got a video on him on the channel for the Tennessee fans who would like to check that out. All right. We got to get to it. By the way, Chris, we've told everyone, just so you're aware, we are only talking about these two games, the first two games of the night. We're going to talk about Kentucky, Vanderbilt, Mississippi State, Texas A&M tomorrow. So we're going to go about a half hour here. The other two games we'll discuss tomorrow. So we're letting Kentucky fans know, if you jump into this, we will talk about your game tomorrow. Hopefully you want us talking about your game. Maybe the way it's going right now, you don't love it, but yeah. So the call or the no call. Let's weigh in. Foul or no foul?
We're talking about the one in the last minute?
Yeah, Michie Johnson. Was that him? Was it him or who?
Yeah. Initial and look, keep in mind, I'm watching it on the players are that big, and I'm watching it on my phone. My initial reaction was good no call. Upon watching the replay about 2 or 3 times, I could see how they could have called it. It would have been. It's that whole thing. Like, do you give the guy room on his shot? But also there was that lean in, the old Reggie Miller that I despise. I mean, I hate that and no travel calls on anything anymore are two of my pet peeves. I could have understood it either way. I thought it was the right call.
Yeah, I thought it was a good no call. I thought he really leaned in if it wasn't such a hard lean in, I think, usually when you get that bite on the pump fake, you'll get that call. But when it showed the angle from inside the arc and you kind of see how much he leans in there to the right side, I think it was a good no call.
It's one of those plays where you're so used to seeing it called
Yep.
that when it doesn't get called, I think you just immediately like, well, how is that not? But then when you look at it closer, again, it's the guy initiating contact, jumping a couple feet. I'm sorry, South Carolina fans. I'm gonna go. Don't let Father Lamont Paris hear this, but I'm probably gonna go clean sweep on this one. So yeah, but it's gonna be interesting. So in terms of how this Tennessee team now, I think proceeds moving forward. They're a number 1 seed right now. People have asked that, like, Chris, they got to be a number 1 seed right now, right?
I never understood when they came out with the first round of 16 why North Carolina was ahead of Tennessee then. I get the head-to-head, but that was in Chapel Hill. I just thought Tennessee's had a better resume. The only thing holding Tennessee back for most of the time was, I think, being a game or two under in quad 1, which is not the issue. And I have not done bracketology in probably a week and just looking at it. But we said all along, look, they've got a chance to run a pretty good gauntlet of quad 1 wins here at the end. And they've just now gone out and taken 3 since we said that. I mean, you can't make predictions because you don't know what's going to happen. Say they lose to Kentucky and then drop a game to somebody in their first game in Nashville and UNC wins the ACC or Arizona wins the Pac-12, then it probably doesn't happen. But going by what we have tonight, I don't know how you could not have Tennessee is a 1 from what I remember with their body of work compared to everybody else's. And since I last looked at it, they have done some things those other teams have not.
Yeah.
One thing that I like so much about this Tennessee team, and you know how, Blake, you brought up the, people will the initial argument will be, well, it's a Rick Barnes team and they haven't done it yet and blah, blah, blah. One reason why I think that does not apply this year is they just won back-to-back road games to win the regular season. And they did it against Alabama and South Carolina. One game where they really leaned on Knecht, one game where they didn't. Last game against Alabama, it was Zeigler with 18, the Aidoo 12. I think it was Josiah Jordan-James also added in a bunch. So there's that narrative that they need 20, 25 from Knecht to win these big games, but they just did it last Saturday. So
yeah, I mean, this is the time. Like, if you're trying to make your case and you're trying to make it based on what you did in November, you're not always going to win that one. But if you're making your case based on what you've done now, it is the full body of work, but a little bit more appealing these days if you can do what they're doing at this time of year. And so I think that certainly factors in. Yeah, I mean, again, this team has won every game since they played Texas A&M. That was a long time ago, February the 10th.
It feels like forever ago.
It does feel like forever ago, doesn't it? And again, they got another great opportunity against Kentucky on Saturday. So yeah, by the way, there's 500 plus of you in here. Do us a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. 15,000 subscribers here on Southeastern 14. We appreciate you guys a ton. That is unbelievable. We could have never thought that when we first started this thing 3 years ago. So we appreciate you. Hit the like button for us. If you like your favorite team, hit the like button. There you go. So, all right. There's something else. Something I just saw. Oh, let's get to a super chat here. Oh, wait. Sorry, that was not it. But, Andrew, we enjoy your comments as always anyways. But that is a good point. Yes, Andrew, also a regular here in the chat. But Joshua, who's we're going to get to, $2 super chat. Joshua is like going full Max Barr with 100 brackets here. Yeah. Making 25 brackets each one. He's got Tennessee winning the whole thing.
My man. That's a great strategy.
How many brackets you fill out, Max?
I'm not joking. I could pull up the text. I'm not going to. But my friend asked me if I'm in any bracket pools this year. I said I'm going to be in double digits guaranteed. I could pull it up. I could. If you're going to do something, you might as well go all in.
How many SEC teams would you have winning it all? How many? You don't have to say the teams' names. Just give me a number.
I'm telling you right now, I'm picking Kentucky, Florida, and Tennessee Final Four. No doubts about it.
Oh, my goodness.
Someone's got to support these guys.
What's the bet online number right now for Florida winning the whole thing? It's got to be pretty up there. So you got a ticket on that. So maybe.
Listen,
Um,
I like our guys.
By the way, come on, folks, hit the like button. That's right, hit the like button. Do us a favor. Interesting. So we're seeing the numbers. Andrew's got 3, Jerry's got 4. So we have a lot of SEC teams people think could put in their bracket and winning the whole thing. So,
hey, can I point something out tonight? In addition to Tennessee getting at least a share of an SEC title, that was one big step towards avoiding what you don't want to have if you're Tennessee, and that is getting a Connecticut or a Purdue before you would get to a Final Four. Now, look, got to win some more games, take care of business, that kind of thing. Hope against something crazy somewhere else. But I was just thinking tonight, the two teams I just don't want to see them play are Connecticut and Purdue. You know, if you're on the Tennessee can get really far and get to a Final
anyone
Four.
Wants to see any SEC
yeah,
team.
And I mean that
stay away from those two.
It's within sight now. I mean, do that maybe and look, maybe you beat Kentucky on Saturday and you're there. You know, maybe you've done enough at that point. I would have to dig in a little bit more than ever because I don't know like what's available to Arizona in the Pac-12 at that point. I mean, how many quality wins do you have to have and how many are available to you in that tournament? I mean, same with North Carolina, ACC, Pac-12 are down. I don't know who else is in the running. I haven't looked at the other leagues as much this week. I don't know if Marquette's right there, but I mean, I would think that, I don't know, maybe it's possible that Tennessee gets Kentucky on Saturday and that's it.
Could be. Shout out, by the way, Charles Duncan just became a member of the It Just Means More tier. Does it just mean more to you out there in internet land? If it does, it just means more here at Southeastern 14 too. $3.99 per month. You can join our exclusive membership tier. I mean, it's harder to get into a club these days than it is to join the exclusive membership tier at Southeastern 14. $3.99 a month. All you guys are doing are supporting us. That's basically the donation tier. You help us keep these things going, do more live streams, do more videos. So we appreciate you guys. It really means a lot. We got a lot of you joining the It Just Means More tier these days. $4, cheaper than a coffee, probably cheaper than a pack of gum these days. So there you go. Thanks, Charles. We appreciate you. What else we got? What else we take away?
We do got to touch on South Carolina a little bit.
That's what I was going to say. What do we got on South Carolina?
I mean, it's crazy that they were even in this position after. I mean, if you told us they would be in this position back in the summer, we would have said you're probably crazy. But they proved us wrong all year. It was an incredible SEC regular season. And I think one of the main reasons why is the freshman Collin Murray-Boyles. And we talked about him in our midseason awards. We'll be having some awards coming out soon also. But listen, you look at his KenPom numbers. 5th in the conference in effective field goal percentage. 6th in offensive rebound rate. 9th in defensive rebound rate. So he's a top 10. He's a top 10 rebounder. He's a top 5 offensive efficiency, whatever you want to call him. He's 21st in free throw rate. This kid is going to be extremely, extremely good if he stays. I needed to say that because he's incredible. I think he played the most minutes out of any front court member for South Carolina tonight. So,
yep, 33, I think, wasn't it?
I don't have the number in front of me. Yeah, 33 minutes. So,
like when I was watching the game, I was sitting there thinking, all right, Carolina's got the kind of game that it needed to get Tennessee in to win. I didn't think if this game, if Tennessee got in the 80s, I didn't think they had the firepower to keep up. I mean, you never know, but probably with the way Tennessee defends, they had the game right there. And then I remember when Dalton Knecht hit about a 15-footer, I think that's it. I mean, I don't know that Carolina can get a +9 on Tennessee to at least get this to overtime, the final 4 minutes. And look, Carolina gave it a good try, made some great plays down the stretch, but just couldn't get there. And I thought Lamont Pierce did a good job of getting the kind of game they needed to win. But just the lack of a Dalton Knecht type shot maker was. And by the way, the difference in the game, I don't know if you guys talked about this. The difference in the game might have been Tennessee's inbounds plays.
Yeah. Was it Knecht had, 12
Goodness.
points on, or even like it was just 12 straight? I don't know what it was.
He's a cheat
Was
code
Rick
on
Barnes
those
just
plays.
drawing up plays to knock it off somebody's thigh and get that look every time? Because I would have been thinking about it at that point.
Listen, if you want to knock Rick Barnes, you better knock him for something else other than the blobs, the baseline out of bounds, because my goodness, he put him in the perfect position in these. Of course, Jimmy Dykes was going nuts about how South Carolina just kept leaving somebody open, mostly Knecht, but like that's coaching too on the other side, where it's like you just draw up something that you know is going to work and your guys execute the play, and they certainly did that. So yeah, I mean, this game to me was very similar to the last game, right? Like it was, there were not everything was the same, but again, it's like if you tell me Tennessee's going to shoot, what was the final shooting percentage for Tennessee in this game, field goal wise? 36% from 2, 35% from 3. But the difference, as everybody said, was the free throw line. And I know that's not going to sit well with South Carolina fans. I see your super chats rolling in. We'll get to them here in a second. I see some of these comments. Don't you worry. Yeah, so like that was the difference, right? It's just wound up being something. South Carolina didn't hit shots. Sometimes the game it's just that way, right? Especially when you're playing a team like Tennessee. Where remember last time, I mean, South Carolina hit 10 last time in Knoxville from 3. Was that right? Or am I just dreaming that? Sometimes I have to ask myself.
I don't know if they had 10, but they were like timely threes when they made them.
Okay. No, they did hit 10. They went 10 of 29.
Oh,
yeah, that's right. We said that they were very big shots. That's what they were. They were more big shots. So, yeah. So, I don't know. All right, we got a lot of super chats rolling in here. Let's run through some of these. Connie, shout out to Connie. She's also been here from the start. Connie was supporting some of the stuff that I was doing before we even started Southeastern 14. So shout out to Connie, big Tennessee fan. $4.99 super chat. Yeah, they're already in the postseason. They're already gearing up, ready to go. So yeah, we appreciate you, Connie, as always. Joshua with a $2 super chat again. Tennessee, more ranked wins in the past 2 weeks than Arizona all year. Hey, they can keep it going too on Saturday. So shout out again, Joshua. We appreciate it. Justin, $4.99 super chat here. Just want to say thank you for all the great content. You guys put in a ton of work this season. Go Vols, SEC champs. We appreciate that, Justin. Yeah, we love the game. That's for sure. So we appreciate you as well. Donovan, again, the guy who has trademarked the dump at the hump, is here with a $1.99 super chat. Donovan's all in on the fact that there's no Final Four or national title contender in the SEC. You see Max shaking his head, Donovan.
If there is, I want to say I picked them. So I'll just pick them all.
So he's just going to pick everybody. Just have everybody. Get Mississippi State there somehow. Like, find a path
Why not?
for the Bulldogs. Although,
Why
what's the
not?
score right now? We said we're not going to talk about this game, so we're not going to. But
Don't talk about it.
We'll talk about it tomorrow. All right. Boy. I wonder who this is. $4.99 super chat from the one and only Reese. The infamous Reese on Twitter, who once cursed me on his tombstone. He wants us to point and laugh at Max right now. So if you're at home, you're watching on your phone, you're watching on the computer, don't care if anyone else is in the room. Don't let them judge you for what you're doing. And that is pointing and laughing at Max. Max,
Listen,
we're going to give this $5 to you.
I deserve it.
You this $4.99. So
while my mind is on it, I'm looking at the wins Tennessee has racked up. And I'm not saying they've locked a number one seed. I've hedged my bets, and I reserve the right to hedge my bets. But let me just enter this into evidence. Here's the wins of consequence. At Alabama at home, Auburn, at Wisconsin, Illinois, at Kentucky, Florida, at South Carolina, and for what it's worth, A&M, if that ends up being which A&M now beating Mississippi State double digits tonight as we watch this. So
Here we go.
I'm looking at Carolina's. Tennessee did beat Tennessee, Duke, Oklahoma, at Clemson, and then Wake and Virginia. They just don't stack up. Arizona's best wins at Duke, Alabama, Wisconsin, Michigan State. I'm missing the fun, aren't I?
Max's camera strikes again.
Dude,
Nobody
know.
heard any of
Well,
that, did they?
We're busy
Kind of
looking at
anyway.
Max's camera.
I'm trying to
That's
fix
all.
it.
Listen, guys.
Max,
Hey,
what has happened here? I mean, the last week or two, you're just
Listen, I'm falling apart here. The pressure's getting to me. Okay.
listen. Let me just tell you, Max will be focused as ever next week because if you're coming to the SEC tournament in Nashville, you can see all three of us live and in living color. You don't have to worry about this blurry camera business. None
I'm
of
gonna
this
fix
stuff.
this. I'll be right
So,
back.
All right. Coach Rice, $9.99 super chat. Late coming in. Another regular here. An MVP of the live streams. Tennessee rules. There you go. So we appreciate you as always, Coach Rice. Always appreciate it. Nathan, shout out to Nathan, another long timer here. Max. Oh, my goodness.
I'm just leaving.
$1.99 super chat. Just once in. Woo pig. We'll talk about Arkansas for just a second in a minute, Nathan. Sorry, this is mostly a Tennessee, South Carolina stream because of the stakes involved, but we will quickly touch on Arkansas here 1 second once I finish these super chats. Coach Rice, again, $4.99 super chat. Tennessee better be a damn number 1 seed in the tournament. You said it, Coach Rice.
I
Brett,
agree.
how you doing over there, big baller Brett? $4.99 super chat. Just wants to congratulate the Vols. Tell them they better enjoy it because it's not happening again next year. Brett just became the biggest heel in this chat other than Max's camera. So there you go. All right. Again, guys, if you're in here, my goodness, this might be an all-timer. Got almost 650 people in here right now.
My
If you guys are in
camera's acting
here,
like this.
do I think this adds to the atmosphere. Do us a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. A lot of stuff coming your way, basketball-wise. In March, we got football stuff. We're about to crank up the football. We're going to get Max a new camera. We got baseball.
I look like Jeremy Pruitt.
Tennessee and South Carolina fans both love baseball. So come on. So,
Yes.
by the way, Chris, do you want a trivia note? Usually I don't
Sure.
support any SEC team here. I don't have any biases. But I just realized the irony of what I am currently wearing right now. And that is a Colorado Rockies shirt,
Oh,
which Tennessee
okay.
fans have always been
Todd
fans
Helton.
of the Colorado Rockies, right? Because of Todd Helton. So
And Chase Dolander.
that's right. So what do you know? This is going off the rails, but I love it. Joshua, we appreciate you becoming a member. Just means more to you. Reese donating $1.99 to the camera fund. So it's like George Costanza's human fun.
Reese is having a
Um,
great night. Reese is having
All right,
a great
Max.
night.
I know a lot of Tennessee fans and such here, but let's quickly touch on Arkansas LSU. The Hogs get the win, and what else? What else do we do with that? We previewed this game, and we both were kind of like, who do you pick here? What do you do? And at the end of the day, we said Arkansas has been playing better. You could give them that. They're inconsistent, but they've been playing better, and so probably not too stunning that they find a way to get the win here, just given the fact that their offense has been rolling. And as we know, someone in particular has continued to push this offense in a big way here recently. So,
Yeah, I would have to go on Twitter to look at it, but Battle did some like 4-game streak scoring record that was like 137 over 4 games that
Holy cow.
hadn't been reached in the past 20 years. Insane scoring run he's on. I don't know where this has been all year.
Here's
sure
a
I'll find
trivia
it.
question for you. Has Dalton Knecht put together 4 consecutive games where he scored more points than what Khalif Battle has done in the last 4? 42, 36, 34, 29. That's his last 4.
yeah.
Did you see the announcer's jinx with Battle? Were you watching it when that happened?
did
I
they-
could only watch one.
He had like 30-some straight free throws, and they didn't say a word on any of them. And then the announcer says it. Doink. I was like,
gonna
you gotta be
learn.
kidding me, man.
They
Come on.
did that to Nick Honor last night. They put up the
Yeah.
graphic in that Missouri game, and the minute it went up, clanked the next one.
Terrible.
We don't talk about that here, Chris.
Sorry.
Well, look, what it does, it prevents LSU from getting to 10 wins, but they're going to have a great chance to get to 9, which will put them at 9-9. Remember, this team went 2-16 last year in the SEC, so that's a significant improvement for LSU. But here's where, we're going to talk about seeding when we go into the preview videos for the weekend.
Yeah.
The seeding is going to be nuts because there are still a lot of things that we got to figure out with the seeding. And LSU and Arkansas are probably going to be among that group. So, yeah, this just added another kind of interesting wrinkle in terms of the seeding. So we know who the top 6 are going to be. We know who number 1 is. We know who number 14 is. I don't think there's a way Vanderbilt can, I guess technically they could if they were to beat Kentucky. But again, we're not going to talk about that game tonight. We'll talk about it tomorrow. But very interesting possibilities in terms of the seeding based on the Arkansas beating LSU here. So,
Yeah, now it jumbles up that 7, 8, 9, 10 little tiebreaker that's held between A&M, Ole Miss, LSU. And while I don't think there's a ton that separates those teams, it's all matchup based. And if you're playing Texas A&M, that's going to be a much different matchup than if you're playing Ole Miss. And the LSU and Arkansas seeding is going to mess with all that. I don't know it off the top of my head what it is, but I do know that it's a mess.
Yeah, it is. Looks like we got people making the rounds on multiple live streams tonight. Good for you guys, Tennessee fans, making the rounds on multiple streams here. Cassie,
We're having
Tim,
a night.
everybody just going around the different streams. Good for you guys. Enjoy it. Yeah, South Carolina fans, again, hey, you still got a chance to be in a great spot in the SEC tournament. You really want that double bye, so we gotta figure that out. But yeah, so all right, look at Justin's coming in, gifting memberships. This is just 600 of you in here. I assume a lot of you are Tennessee fans, but we know we got some regulars in here too that are not. So Arkansas fans joining the club here, finishing strong on the season. So yeah, we appreciate you guys. Chris asked earlier, by the way, we're going to change the Southeastern 16. We'll have an update on that soon enough. Don't worry. We've been thinking about that for a long time before we even started Southeastern 14. So, Scotty, shout out to Scotty, $5 super chat. Should be a lock for 1 seed for Tennessee. Got him a Vols basketball and baseball win. And the Grizzlies messing with the draft stock. So, that's always preferable, right? Sam, did Blake give you his old camera? No, I did not send my old camera to Max. Okay? So, although I think he uses the same one I used to use. That may be it.
It's this setting I gotta change. This thing's driving me nuts.
We change settings in May. We don't change them in March. Shout out again, Reese, $1.99 super chat. Justin giving out 5 Southeastern 14 memberships.
Hey,
we appreciate you, Justin. Yeah. So there you go. Comment of the night. Nathan, you're not gonna tell your wife you said this, but my wife's snoring must be shaking Max's camera. Wow, Nathan, brutal. Anyways, all right. It's because of the focus, Gary. That's what it is. Gary, another long time.
Poor Max.
Everybody just picking on Max. Everybody picking on the new guy. Come on.
Someone's got to do it. Someone's got to do it.
Right? By the way, I know this is a dedicated podcast to a couple of games, but are you watching this A&M Mississippi State thing?
No.
Oh, that is a tomorrow reaction.
That's a tomorrow thing, Chris.
Okay.
No, we're not.
Well,
don't even bring it up. No.
Then
we're about to get out of
I'll hold
here.
my reaction till tomorrow.
So we're about to get out of here. Again, if you're watching this, you're a Kentucky fan, Vanderbilt fan, Mississippi State. Well, probably not going to be a Mississippi State fan. Texas A&M fan. We're not talking about those games on this live stream. We were just going to do a quick special, and just on the Tennessee game again, because this was the regular season championship on the line here. And Gary's a nice guy. Come on, Max.
I know.
He loves you.
It's all good fun.
He thinks you're great. So, anyways. So, all right, guys. We're going to wrap up here in just a couple minutes. We got 600 plus of you in here. That means if you're still watching, Either you love us or you hate us. Either way, hit the like button. That helps the channel. And everybody's just loving this whole thing with Max, this camera situation. So how many running jokes do we have this
Mike
year?
Perry. You guys know who Mike Perry is?
Oh, man.
He's like a bare knuckle boxer. I mean, at least, hey, I'll take it. I'll take it. You know.
Oh, boy.
Thanks.
Well, shout out to Mike Perry. All right. What else we got? We're going to wrap up here shortly, guys.
Yep.
Yeah. But again, we appreciate you watching. Hit the like button on your way out. Leave us a super chat. Donate to the channel. Helps us do more of these videos. We will have live streams all next week at the SEC tournament. Again, if you're... Oh, hold on a second. Justin, I'll get to that in a second. Big question coming in. And we'll be at the SEC tournament. We'll have live streams there. We'll have a bunch of fun stuff coming up next week. Then we'll be covering the entire NCAA tournament, as you know, like we do every year. D-Mac, you want me to say woo pig? I will. Just for you. Listen, you guys send us super chats. We're Ron Burgundy. We'll say whatever you want.
Okay.
So shout out to not anything. Shout out to Nathan, $1.99 super chat here. Happy to catch the live stream, guys. We appreciate you, Nathan.
Hey,
Justin, this is a
Blake,
pretty... Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just going
Justin's
to say
a pretty
quickly.
loaded question.
So
just said, go ahead.
Here's why, okay? Let me tell you why this happens, all right? We all know why this happens, okay? Chris's internet has improved considerably. Like, it's night and day how much better his internet is. But there is still a slight delay every time we have one of these. And it's the slightest delay, but, like, I notice it, and we do this sometimes. But if you guys watched this back in the day, so which some of you guys here have, oh my goodness. Like, there was like a full 2 or 3 second delay between one of us talking, and it was just a complete you-know-what. So, brutal, but nowhere near as bad now. Justin, all I was going to say is it's too soon since Sting's retirement from professional wrestling. We're not going to talk about that here tonight. We got more important things to get to, but maybe I'll do an entire podcast dedicated to the retirement of the one and only, the icon, Sting. Scotty knows.
All right, Blake, I'm trying to get who's locked down what for the tournament. Missouri's the 14.
Oh, Chris, we
Vanderbilt's the
can't do all this.
13. Well, but we can get a few.
No.
Tennessee's the outright one now.
Correct.
Okay, and then yeah, I mean in between. God help you.
Yes.
I was gonna say,
Yes. Yes. I literally thought you were about to go 1 through 14. I'm like, no chance.
No,
Not a chance.
I'm not even gonna. I'm just the part we've locked down. That's what I would like to know.
Oh, gosh. That's it. All right.
So
Listen.
Tennessee will be the one playing the winner of the 8 and 9, which could be
Who knows?
like
A lot of
17 different teams.
Who knows? So there you go. All right, let's cap it here. Tennessee, South Carolina, we spent a lot of time on that. We talked to Arkansas, LSU, Kentucky fans, Vanderbilt fans. I'm going to keep repeating this just because I want to make sure we know. We will talk about that game, and unfortunately, we're gonna have to talk about Texas A&M, Mississippi State tomorrow too. So we will talk about that one as well. Guys, again, this was like an all-timer for us in-season live stream. 600 plus of you in here at one time, almost 700 people. So we will talk all about everything else leading into the weekend. We'll discuss tiebreakers, tournament scenarios, all that coming up probably on Thursday, Friday videos. So again, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. We really, really, really appreciate you guys. We really do. So thank you for hopping in. So